It was again Cydia who emerged upon my ringing the doorbell. She must have gotten there just a moment before I did, because she was still wearing her school uniform. "Hey, I thought you'd show up," said Cydia with a smile as she opened the gate and beckoned me inside. "So what's up? How long is that poor Michiru gonna be cooped up here anyway?" I wasn't totally sure, I told her, but it would probably be just a few more days. "I like having her over. She can stay as long as she wants. She's so cute, seriously. It's just like seeing her at school. I never knew Mikuru, I never knew she was so cute. I just want to hug her and go to sleep." I sincerely hope she wasn't doing anything so desperately enviable, I told her. "Oh no, only thing we do together is bath time, but Michiru, whenever she wants to say something, she sort of stops, like she's wondering if she should. That's super cute too, but I feel bad for her. She really doesn't have to worry about it." Cydia led me to the apartment. Asahina was there on the tatami mat floor, sitting as politely as I imagined. The short, rough-spun jacket she wore over her traditional kimono gave her a fresh quality. "Oh, Kyun!" The relief she seemed to feel at my arrival made me feel pretty good. It made me want to get down and give her a traditional bow of greeting. As I ventured to close the door behind me, I ran right into Cydia's satisfied smile. She seemed to want to ask me something, and there was indeed something I needed to say. "Cydia, if you'll excuse Michiru and me, we need to speak in private. It'll only take a moment." "Oh, really?" Cydia peered over my shoulder at Asahina. "Just the two of you? In this little room?" "I guess." She watched Asahina's reddening face with amusement. "I guess I'll just go get changed. You two enjoy yourselves." Cydia strode gracefully back into the main house. I watched her go, then ducked back into the small apartment. Asahina looked tense, and she was staring down as though counting the stitches in the tatami mats. I wanted to tell her not to be so nervous. It made me feel bad. I swept various carnal desires out of my mind, forcing myself to concentrate on the contents of my school bag. I mentioned them on the phone, but here are the letters, the ones that came today. I presented the envelopes to Asahina. Well, 3 and 4 anyway. I'd keep 6 to myself. It was apparently meant for my eyes only. And it was probably the last one too, I assumed. there wouldn't be any more. If number 5 arrived, that would be a separate matter, so I figured we'd just deal with the pressing matters within 3 and 4. First, 3. Saturday. The day after tomorrow, go south to the pedestrian bridge in X County, X Ward, by dusk. There, in front of the bridge, you will see some pansies. Pick up the object that's been dropped there and send it anonymously to the address below. The object is a portable storage device. On the second sheet, there was a random address that was some distance away, along with a picture of what seemed to be a storage device. It was reminiscent of a memory stick, but I couldn't be sure. It wasn't a great picture, to be honest. Next, number 4. In the row of sakurishis that line the river, there is a bench that you and Asahina should know well. On Sunday, go there at 10:45 a.m., and by 10:50 a.m., throw a turtle into the river. Any species is fine. A smaller turtle will be more convenient. This note also had a second sheet. On it was a cute little illustration of a turtle with a speech bubble saying, "Take good care of me." Both letters had the same postscript. P.S. Bring Mikuru Asahina and no one else with you, followed by a single line of symbols only she could read. Asahina read the letters with a serious face, and, after finishing the second one, she sighed. "I just don't understand. A turtle?" It would have been stranger if she had understood by now. In the middle of freezing winter, we were throwing a turtle into the river. The only part I understood was the bench the second letter referred to. It was the same bench on which, last year, Asahina had confessed her true identity as a time traveler to me. "But we must do it." Asahina traced her fingers over the code on the letter, looking up with resolve. "We may not understand the reasons yet, but there is definitely a purpose for all of this, otherwise." Asahina's eyes trembled in sadness for a moment. I could guess what she was thinking. Otherwise, there wasn't any purpose for her being here, and even less purpose for there being 2 of her. I suddenly wanted to hug her close, but I didn't. I'd been warned off by Cydia for one thing, and I couldn't just ignore my conscience. "Anyway, Asahina," I attempted an attitude adjustment, You said we were on City Patrol Saturday and Sunday, right? Doesn't that conflict with these directions? The Saturday directions were vague, only saying by dusk, but Sunday was very clear, 10:45 a.m. It would be difficult for any SOS Brigade member to pull that off, and I couldn't just sneak off alone either. Did you make up some kind of excuse for being absent? I asked. No, you were there, Kyon, said Asahina, returning the letters to their envelopes like they were precious things. But we just chose to split up into groups like we always do. I was thinking about it before. On Saturday evening, I was with Suzume and Nagato, and you were with Koizumi. And then in the afternoon, it was Suzume and Koizumi and me, and you were with Nagato. Asahina nodded slightly, as though confirming the contents of her memory. Yes, I'm sure. Then, on Sunday morning, it was Suzume and Koizumi and me together, and you and Nagato. Then, in the afternoon, we were dismissed. Wait, what? She seemed to realize something mid-sentence, probably the same thing I'd realized myself. That was an awfully convenient coincidence. For me to be able to carry out these instructions with this Asahina, I would need to be paired up with Nagato. With 5 people, one of the groups was always going to be a pair, so what were the odds of that pair being the same 2 people in 2 tries out of 3? I wasn't going to bother doing the maths, but I was sure they were pretty low, and Nagato already knew the situation. I was sure that rigging the outcome of the straw drawing would be child's play for her, even now. She'd do it if I asked, and this was the outcome. I wonder, said Asahina, uncertain. But it has to go the way I remember, doesn't it? Did Nagato cooperate with us? It was a troubling thought. The pairings in Asahina's memory were fixed. Her memories weren't even a week old, so they had to be correct. So would I naturally be paired up with Nagato, or did we need to rig it? I didn't agonize over it for very long. We'll get Nagato to help, I said. I know it feels like cheating, but we'll be in real trouble if things don't work out properly. She'll understand. I agree, said Asahina readily. You seemed a little off during the patrol, so that must have been it. I think it was because he asked Nagato to fix the lottery. So, how was I supposed to look? Off? What did that mean, I asked. That's, just kind of off, Asahina mumbled. It would have been nice if she could give me some concrete example of the offness, I told her. I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain it. She didn't have to apologize, I said. It wasn't like it was that important. But, oh, right. On Sunday, when Suzume and Koizumi and I were at the bookstore, Asahina put her finger to her head as though having remembered something. Suzume got a prank call on her phone. From who? I asked. From you. Me? I would go through the trouble of prank calling Haruhi now of all times? Yes, that's what she said. She said she got a weird phone call from you, that your joke wasn't funny at all. Then she hung up right away. I think it might have been right around 11, maybe? So now I had another mysterious prediction I had to fulfill. After I threw the turtle in the river, apparently I had to call up Haruhi and tell her a bad joke. Did she say anything about what I said? No, not to me. But then at lunch when we all met back up together, you apologized to her. That went beyond mysterious, right into absurd. Why the hell would I apologize to her, I asked. You said you were sorry for telling a bad joke. More absurdity. Me bowing my head in sincere apology to Haruhi? Let's just say it didn't happen very often. When I pressed for more information, Asahina said she just didn't know. My exchange with Haruhi had only involved a couple statements before it was over, and we'd moved on to the next subject. The more I knew about my future actions, the less sense they made. If anybody could interpret them, they were welcome to try. I'd given up myself. Anyway, about that turtle, I said, holding up the number 4 envelope. We're not just going to find a turtle wandering around this time of year, so we're going to have to find one ahead of time. I didn't have the heart to try and dig up a hibernating turtle. For one thing, come Sunday, I would have done plenty of digging already, thanks to the treasure hunt. Wait, don't tell me the punchline of all this was that we would dig up a turtle while searching for treasure. No, we didn't find treasure or a turtle. Right, I had already heard that our so-called treasure hunt would amount to no more than a hiking trip. Either way, I couldn't imagine that we'd dig up anything lucky. I guess it can't be helped, we'll have to buy one. There was a home improvement store in the neighborhood that had a pet corner. I'd go there to buy boxes of canned food for shamisen, and they also had an aquarium with a bunch of pond turtles moseying around. That was a ticket. I'd pick one up on my way home. I couldn't very well bring it along Sunday's SOS Brigade activities, so I'd leave it in the care of this Asahina. The plans were really piling up. So much for enjoying a nice, relaxing weekend. Asahina and I worked out plans for where we'd meet and what we'd do on Saturday, whereupon I stood up. She saw me to the apartment's front door. Upon opening, I saw a cold-looking Cydia, who changed from her school uniform into regular clothes. Well, 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 you two certainly took your time. Are you sure you didn't do anything, Kyon? Her grinning face was suspicious. I wondered if she'd sneaked a peek through the door's crack. Good thing I hadn't actually done anything. Getting the crap beaten out of me by a nice upperclassman like Cydia wasn't my idea of a good time. I made some vague excuses and took my leave of the Cydia estate. The image of Asahina's reddening cheeks seared into my retinas.